Yeah, hi, it's Jan here from Music and Stuff, and now we're here. I'm in my office, and we have an interview with John Bourne from Shure, and we will talk about the new Shure KSM8 microphone, which he was a part of the developing team. And yeah, we will see what he can tell us about the process in the making of the KSM8. So, hi John, how are you?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, everything fine so far?
Everything's great.
Yeah,
Everything's going really well with the mic and have a really great response in the market. So we're excited to finally have this thing out the door.
okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your job and what was your part in developing the KSM8?
Yeah, I'm the product manager for this product and for a lot of different wired products at Shure. And my role is kind of twofold. I maintain all the current products in the wired category, so from PGSM, beta, and KSM products, and also mics for wireless. But I also develop new products for that category as well. So I work really closely to the market and the end user and the audio engineer to help define what we're going to make sure we make the right things for them, and then work with the engineering team, and we write charters here. We call them charters, and we work on a blue ribbon team to execute that microphone or product or products. We lock everybody in a room, basically all the engineers and myself in a room in a
Yeah.
pod, and when we don't leave until it's done. So.
Okay. And we've heard that it took about like 10 years to develop the KSM8 and its new technology.
Yeah, it took about 7 actually.
Okay.
From like an idea to end result to product. It's took about 7 years. So it's pretty cool to see it from just napkin sketches through productization and testing and beta testing and alpha testing, and then all the way finally to the marketing and launch material. So it's pretty cool to have that all from start to finish. It's kind of painful sometimes, but
Yeah.
there's a lot that can go wrong and that does go wrong, but that's kind of what makes it exciting. The idea for the KSM8 came out of actually the KSM9. We knew that if we had a second diaphragm to the acoustic network of a condenser microphone, you can get this proximity effect reduction.
Yeah.
And the challenge was, on a condenser mic, that's pretty easy because there's just not all the stuff in the way. Plus, you get the benefit of having a switchable pattern. On a dynamic microphone, it's a very mechanical thing, and it's very difficult to it's you versus physics on it. So you have to kind of put it in the right spot, and when you do that, because there's a cavity of air and a magnet and a coil and all this stuff in the way, when you do that, you kind of break everything in that process. So that was kind of the idea of, can we try and borrow this technology from the KSM9 with a second diaphragm in it and get this proximity effect control and see how good we can make it.
Yeah. And have there been times during that process when you thought, oh, it's not possible, or that's too hard, we can't make it?
Oh, many times.
Okay.
There's many times. You hit a lot of roadblocks in that creation process. The hardest part, really one of the hardest parts, was kind of just relearning what makes the SM58 and SM57 so special, and the Unidyne 3 cartridge. Our engineering team, it had been 25 years, over 25 years since we really developed a new cartridge, a new dynamic cartridge. The beta line was kind of our last big endeavor on dynamic microphones. And prior to that was the SM58 and SM57, which are 50 years old.
Yeah.
SM58 is 50 years old this year. We've had variations on a theme, but we really haven't had a brand new core technology. And part of the process of trying to figure out how to put this second diaphragm in there was going back through our closets of lab notebooks from all the engineers from the 60s, Ernie Sealer, and the technical notes from the 30s of the original Unidyne. And that was a really cool process to go through these handwritten lab notebooks. And our acoustical engineers and mechanical engineers had to really kind of digest and really learn the essence of what makes those microphones so special. The SM58 and Beta 58 and the Unidyne, what really makes that cartridge tick, and understand it fundamentally, and then kind of remove everything and start from scratch. And that was a really cool process to kind of see that creation of relearning everything you know about dynamic microphones, but then simultaneously rejecting everything you know because you know you want to break it. So that took about 2 years just to kind of get our engineering chops, get that engine oiled again for dynamic mics. But in that process, we learned so much about dynamic mics. It's really cool to, we learned new ways how to do it, how to make it, all these different levers that we didn't think we had that we have now. So it's pretty cool to see that history kind of go into this product.
Yeah. And you already told us that you would minimize the proximity effect, but have there been other goals than that to reach with the new concept?
Yeah, so that second diaphragm kind of gave us another lever to pull. Once we figured out where it should go, we basically spent the next 5 years fixing everything we broke in that process. And we broke a lot of stuff because it's on a dynamic mic, you put that second diaphragm in there, and it's a passive diaphragm. It's not connected to a coil or a magnet, and it's just part of the rear entry network. So what makes a microphone directional and its polar pattern and the response, and we allow sound to strike the back of the diaphragm along with the front of the diaphragm. And in that process, by sticking a second diaphragm within that network, along with the resistance part that's in there to create rejection, we broke a lot of stuff. And we kind of had to figure out how to reconnect everything. And that's where that tube system was very important. That tube system kind of reconnected all the things we needed to reconnect when we broke it by sticking that second diaphragm in there. So that second diaphragm gave us this kind of new lever to pull. We knew we could get the proximity effect reduction, but it also kind of helped with taming the high end response, the presence peak in the microphone. So it kind of helped us get a flatter response out of the mic. It extended our low frequency response in a way, and it just kind of gave us another lever to tune the microphone with.
Yeah.
And I would say between that, the flat response, and then also the pattern, it allowed us to really, really dial in the polar pattern and get the best cardioid polar pattern that we can really tune up. And because you're starting from scratch, we started with nothing. When the team started, they said, if we want to do this, we can't be beholden to using any existing parts or any existing processes. We need to make literally everything from scratch. Every single part on this microphone is brand new.
Yeah.
And that resulted in every single process, all the processing and putting it together. It's a completely new production line at Shure. It's not borrowed from any other production line. And they said, if we want to pull this off, we need to have all things available at our disposal. So yeah, the pattern, the flat response, and the proximity effect with that big sweet spot are kind of really the big three benefits you get on this KSM8.
And with these advantages, would you say there are some musicians and speakers it is perfect for, and some for whom it's not really good, like for hip hoppers who will use this proximity effect for sound effects, it might not be the perfect mic? Yeah,
I don't think there's a microphone that can do everything for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's why there's so many great microphones in the world. So, but the KSM8 has really found its home on a few big applications. First one being just actually corporate use. Corporate users have loved the sweet spot on this mic because you can hold the mic down here or up here or over here. It all sounds the same. The sweet spot is huge, and it's changing in volume, but it's not changing in tone.
Yeah.
And that's really, really useful for corporate CEOs and guys who really don't know how to use a microphone. They're holding it down with their chest. they're finding that they're using a lot less processing to deal with that poor mic technique. In-ear monitor users have loved it because of, and monitor engineers have loved it because of the clean off-axis rejection you're getting. All the bleed that goes in that vocal microphone sounds very natural, and it's really cleaning up in-ear mixes a lot. So you're finding a lot less stage bleed, and the stage bleed you do get is very manageable in your in-ear mix.
Yeah.
Lovers of condenser microphones have loved this mic because it's very, very flat, like condenser microphones. It doesn't have that presence peak in it, and they're getting the benefit of it being a dynamic with less sensitivity and less stage wash, and just really nice venues and nice PA systems and nice tours are all kind of reaping the benefit of how good this microphone sounds. It's a very honest, a very flat, a very warm mic, and that's things you don't really associate with dynamics. And it's kind of bringing a new tier of sound quality to the dynamic microphone.
Yeah. And at the presentation at NAMM show, we have seen some like drawings and blueprints with all those smart parts. And Shure is like very well known for having rock solid microphones like you can use as a hammer and they still work.
Yeah.
Maybe some people might be worried about having a microphone with all those little parts. So how did you realize that it is as solid as you think a Shure mic should be?
Not at first, it wasn't. It was the challenge. I would say the last year of its productization was basically focused on passing drop test.
Okay.
And that was, we have 2 drop tests we do here. We do a handheld drop test, just loose onto a hard floor, and then we also do the microphone in the stand as well, in a mic stand. And the handheld one wasn't so bad, but the mic stand drop test was a tough one to pass, because when it lands in the mic stand, it just basically just stops, and all that force is forced upon the cartridge. And dialing in the shock mount was a very tough feat. The 2 parts, the 2 halves of the cartridge are laser welded together, and we had to dial in that joint to be very strong. We get close to 200-pound pull force on it, so it's a very durable cartridge. But when you drop the mic, the cartridge moves because it's inside of the shock mount. It's mounted to the shock mount. So, dialing in the stiffness of the shock mount, because it's also part of the acoustic network. It's a pneumatic shock mount, so it's actually, the cartridge bleeds. The pneumatic shock mount actually pumps into the cartridge. And so dialing all those bits and parts in, and the weights, and the compliance of the rubber, and the resistance part that's in there to pump that shock mount up and down. We probably dropped over 1,000 microphones.
Okay.
Of various vintages and tweaks and modifications, and before we got to the final one that passed. But actually, the funny story that the team will tell you, when we passed the drop test, we do it with like 10 microphones, and all 10 have to pass. And I took the first one that passed, and I slammed it onto the ground, onto our cement floor as hard as I could. And I picked it up and plugged it in, and it worked just fine. It didn't look very good, but it worked. And that's when I knew we had found the recipe we needed to pass this thing for drop. So it's equally as durable as an SM58, arguably more durable. The grill design and the cartridge design virtually make it waterproof, which is pretty cool. So it's you can use it like a hammer, just like you would an SM58.
Okay. And as you have a very good sounding and microphone with a complete new technology, some people might think about adding some more models to the range. Are there any plans you can talk about, or is it top secret?
Not at this time, not at this time. I would love to, but frankly, we don't really have anything in the works.
Okay.
It took a lot of effort on the team to really just get this one right. And between the extensive beta testing and just the complexity of this product, really we stripped it down and focused it to let's just get this one right, get it out the door, and then once we get over the hump of shipping and getting off back order and all that, we can see where we go next with this cartridge design and kind of listen to the market, figure out where is this thing going, where we didn't think it would go. We've had a lot of success in broadcast, a lot of requests for like long-handled versions for talent mics. We've had a lot of requests for studio mics. We've had a lot of requests for the switchable mics. So I think there's a lot of other applications where this benefit that you're getting with this Dualdyne technology can be quickly applied to other use cases. So we're gonna kind of listen and revel in the success of the mic, and then later on focus on maybe what's our next move. But yeah, at this point we got nothing in the works. So
yeah, okay. So yeah, thank you very much for your time and congratulations to this wonderful microphone. And yeah, I hope we don't have to wait another 7 years for the next step in the Dualdyne line.
You won't have to wait that long. I think we realized how much we can still do with dynamic mics. So I don't want to wait 7 years. I started this project before I had children, and now I'm going to have 3. So it's
okay.
It's a long. I'm ready for more dynamic microphones, just like you guys. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, and yeah, have a good time.
Thanks for having
there.
us.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah.